Today's video is one where you are definitely going to want to grab something yummy to sip on, get comfy, cozy up with a blanket. I hope you're ready for this. It is the Homeschool Mom New Homeschooler Q&A video, and I'm going to tell you there was an overwhelming, amazing amount of questions, and I'm excited to answer these questions. I hope you guys find this video helpful. I hope you find it encouraging, but I am popping on really quick because as I'm going through editing this video, we have made a few changes. This video is a collaboration video because there are so many of you mamas reaching out. There are so many of you who are just needing help and guidance, and so many of us homeschool moms who are here to help. My friend Christy at One Blessed Mess, we have been on this YouTube journey together from the very beginning, and she is a very dear friend of mine, and we are both going to tackle homeschool questions, a new homeschooler Q&A. So once you're done here, I encourage you to check out Christy's channel. I'm going to link her in the description box down below so that you can go get more inspiration and more help and direction and just some wisdom from Christy as well. She is a second year homeschool mom. This is her second year tackling this, and she's got littles. So if you are a new homeschool mom on this homeschool journey, I so encourage you, once you're done here, go check out Christy's channel at One Blessed Mess. I'll link her down below, like I said. And I have a part 2 coming out, so I wanted to mention that. I can't remember if I mentioned that in this video, but there is going to be a part 2. So hit the subscribe button, stick around, because some of your questions did not get answered in this video. So let's get back to it, moms. Before I get started, I want you all to know 2 things. First of all, I could not get to all of them in this video, so there will be a part 2. Because I value my time, I value all of your time, I did not want to keep you here for 45 minutes answering all of these amazing questions. So if you have a question that does not show up in this homeschool Q&A, it's coming in round 2. So be prepared for part 2. Now, the second thing is, I want you to know I am answering these questions from my experience. I am a homeschool mom. I am a stay-at-home homeschool mom of 3 boys. If you're new here, we are beginning our 8th year this homeschool year for 2020. So I want you to know that homeschooling is so personal. It is so individual. Nothing that I do or say or use or love or the things I dislike, those might be things that work in your homeschool. So if I can get one point across in this whole video, it's just know that your journey is going to be just yours. And I try to reiterate that fact in all of the videos that I bring to you guys, but your journey is going to be unique for your family. And something might work for me that may not for you. And it's going to look different for every single family from here until forever. It always has. It's going to be different. So know that what I'm sharing with you all is my personal experience with a curriculum or just in our homeschool journey in general. This is a Q&A. I am using my experience, the things that we've discovered work in our home, the things that don't work. That's what I'm sharing with you in this homeschool Q&A video, answering your questions that you all asked me here on YouTube and also over on Instagram at Simply Living It. So get comfy. I'm going to get straight into it, mamas. Here we go. Homeschool Q&A. Okay. Question number 1. This is perfect for the very first question. When does it get easier? Once the toddler is grown? When does it get easier? Does it ever? I don't know. I cannot answer that. I can answer and tell you that my first year was the worst in the history of our years of homeschooling. Our very first year was the absolute worst, hands down. So as far as getting easier, I don't know if it really truly does. I think it just, you find a system, you put down, you lay down all your expectations, you let it all go, you hand it over to God and run with it. You trust Him in the process, you trust the journey, and mindset will change, and you'll go through different transitions and different seasons as a homeschool mom, and your kids will as well. They will begin to realize this is our lifestyle, especially if they've been public schooled and are now homeschooling. There's going to be a season of transitioning for sure, and changing, and maybe even some resistance. There's always going to be resistance. But as far as getting easier, I don't know if it ever gets easier. I just know it will look different. Question 2, what has been my favorite Gather Round homeschool curriculum unit? What unit should I start with? So that's kind of a two-part question. My personal favorite Gather Round homeschool unit was Oceans. I love the ocean. I love the ocean. Oceans was, okay, wait, hold on. Christmas. The Christmas unit study from Gather Round homeschool curriculum was gold. It was gold. There were so many transformations and so much. The Christmas unit was gold. It was gold. It was everything. But if you're talking about the specific unit studies like North America, Asia, space, all of those, out of the ones that we did this homeschool year, my favorite was Oceans. I love the ocean. Oceans was my favorite. Where should you start? Ask your children. Ask your children what they are interested in. If there's something that stands out to them, if they're interested in space, start with space. If they're interested in the continent of Asia, if they're interested in the human body, ask your children. Let them have a voice and an input in all of it, and that could actually be very rewarding for you as the homeschool mama as well. Instead of forcing them to learn about a topic as you're already making this transition, letting them have a voice and a say in it is a beautiful thing, and I think it will bring so much beauty into your homeschool as well. Question 3, do we do all subjects every day, especially with my 7th graders? So do I do all subjects every day? Yes and no. It depends on the day. You all know, if you've been here for any length of time, I don't wake up to a schedule. I reverse record keep. I take each day as it comes. It really truly depends. If you want to go for all subjects, we stick to, for the most part, the core subjects. So math and language, and then our Gather Round unit study. Now, I did purchase Knotgrass history that we are doing as a family read aloud together. In all honesty, there are days where we don't get to everything. There just are. There are days that we get math done and language, and that's as good as it gets. So every day looks totally different in our home. It absolutely does. But my goal is, yes, to shoot for at least 4 days of school a week, and getting absolutely math, language, our read alouds, our Bible time. Those are my main core subjects that I like to try and tackle every day. But if I said we do them every day, that would be a lie. No, we don't get to them every single day, not all of them. And especially me, where I added in extra, I've added in that Knotgrass history as a family read aloud. I've added in Fix It grammar as we're trying to kind of see how our flow is going to work for this upcoming homeschool year. I'm certain I've got things that I don't need, that are just going to be unnecessary, but that's part of the journey. 8 years in, I'm still here trying to figure it all out. So no, we do not do everything, all subjects every day. Some days we do, some days we are killing it, but some days we just don't. So that's in all honesty right there. Question 4, when one of the children isn't feeling well or having an off day, how to not lose the others? Any tips? Okay, I'm just going to be honest. Typically in our home, if someone's not feeling well, we don't do school. We just don't. Because so much of what we do is family oriented, we just won't do it. And that's in all honesty. If someone does not feel well, we're putting the books down for the day. We're just not going to tackle any of it. That's just kind of how it goes. If someone's not feeling well, I don't push any of us to do it, including myself. Like, why add another batch of chaos into the mix? So that's just what works in our home. Question 5, do you do mini units by themselves or along with other main units? We do mini units from the Gather Round homeschool curriculum by themselves. I thought initially it would be so fun to mix like North America with the human body and do, say, Monday, Wednesday would be North America, Tuesday, Thursday would be human body. So you're getting your geography, your science. Essentially with the unit studies, you're getting all your subjects anyway, but it's kind of a different aspect. I just decided that's too much. We stick strictly to one unit study at a time. So if we're doing U.S. government, we're strictly doing U.S. government, which we are right now. If we do North America, we finish North America. That's just how it works for us. That's what works best in our home. I know that with the standard unit studies like North America, Oceans, for instance, they have memory verses that they're working on in those. And if I was to intermix or intermingle them, they're going to totally get confused and thrown off. And then I feel like it's too much chaos. I'm organized chaos anyway, but I feel like that would just be all over the place. So in our home, yes, we stick to 1 unit study at a time. That helps us just kind of totally engulf it and encompass it in different areas. So up to this point, 1 unit study at a time from Gather Round in our home. What is it like homeschooling a 5th grader? What is it like homeschooling a 5th grader? I'm sure you can only imagine. It's wonderful. It is so wonderful. It's just amazing to me to look at our journey homeschooling and see where we are. Like, God has blessed our homeschool journey in so many ways. Never, ever, 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 ever did I think when I pulled my son out of kindergarten that I would still be doing it to this day. At that time, it was a temporary thing. I didn't think that I would still be doing it to this day, let alone up into 7th grade. Like, God has just blown me away with everything He has done in my home, in my heart. My mind has changed, my mindset, my outlook, my view on so many things has changed. My view on what homeschooling is and what it looks like and what it means, what it truly means to homeschool. It's beyond curriculum. So if you are stuck on curriculum, like, homeschooling is so beyond curriculum. I just, to answer your question, homeschooling a 5th grader is amazing. It blows me away that we've been doing it this long, that I have a 5th grader, that I have a 7th grader and a 2nd grader. And it's such a blessing. It's amazing to get to spend every day with my kids. And no, every day is not crazy amazing like I've talked about in the past, but just to see your children grow and develop and this love for learning, it only gets better the older that they get. It truly gets better. So it's amazing homeschooling a 5th grader. Yes, there's resistance at times. Yes, there are emotions, but it's truly amazing. It is amazing. Next question, favorite last minute field trip or random homeschool trip? Does the grocery store count? No, just kidding. A favorite, honestly, we love doing last minute play days with friends. In our area, camping, like, we're gone so much. Any time spent in the mountains is a field trip for us. There's not a ton of places around here that we could really take a field trip to. So it would just be last minute play days with friends. Going and getting snow cones. Like, it's summer, so I'm thinking summertime. So this isn't necessarily a homeschool field trip answer, but maybe I'll get back to you on that one. Maybe this year, without doing co-op, our schedule is going to look so different this homeschool year. So maybe I will find my last minute favorite homeschool field trip and I will let you know. Question number 8. What are some of my go-to meals when in a rut? Breakfast for dinner. We love breakfast for dinner. We love breakfast burritos. We love pancakes and scrambled eggs and hash browns and bacon, all of the things. I love tacos of any sort. So chicken tacos, beef tacos, chicken fajitas, enchiladas, stuff like that. That's what we really do a lot of. And then your simple, obvious, barbecuing something. Barbecue some chicken, throw it on the smoker. Chicken, burgers. We have burgers a lot in our home. We don't do a ton of sandwiches for dinner because my husband lives off sandwiches every day for work. He eats cold sandwiches. I don't know how he does it. I do not know how he does it, but we don't do a ton of sandwiches for dinners. We usually try to stick to, obviously, meat of some sort, steak, barbecue some steak, fish every now and then. So I try to keep things as simple as I can. We're coming into crock pot season, which I'm so excited about because I feel like that's when I have my game on, when everything starts slowing down. This time of year, I just get lost in the hours of the day and I forget, oh, dinner, I didn't thaw anything out. So you are not alone when you get in those ruts. It's totally normal. It happens to all of us. But I love to throw something on the grill. I love breakfast for dinner, barbecuing, stuff like that. Next question. What is my favorite thing about each kid? Oh, I don't even know. I can't even answer that. I didn't look over these and think about this ahead of time. I just wrote them all down. My favorite thing about each kid, their hearts. Does that work for answering that question? They're all so different and they're all so amazing, and they blow me away with their hearts and their love and their silliness. They love to make me laugh. They love to make their mama laugh. They love to make me smile. Their hearts. I every single one of them. Their hearts. They love to give me notes. They love to leave letters for me. They love to make coffee for me. Their hearts. I will say also, everybody tells me that they look just like their dad, but we call this a butt chin in our family, and every single one of my boys has this. So I'm so thankful for that, because that is my mark right there. That's my mark on my sweet boys. So that is something that, if we're talking physically, that I see that I love that 2 of them have their daddy's blue eyes. 1 of them has brown eyes like me, and they all have my chin. I love it. That is something physically, if we're talking physically. But I know that was not meant to be physical, but their hearts, truly their hearts. Totally. Next question. Do you follow a schedule with time, or is it more of a flow? Is it different for each kid? It is the same for every kid. I do not follow a schedule as far as time. I do not pay attention to time. I feel like that just stresses me out and overwhelms me. And I've talked about that with you guys before. I tried that my first year. I used a Becca, and it actually, in the teacher's manual, had everything broken down by time. And it was overwhelming to me. I couldn't do it, you guys. And I know some moms absolutely cannot fly by the seat of their pants like I do. Some moms have to absolutely have that structure, and some kids need that. Like, I totally appreciate and respect that. In our home, my kids are just like me, and they're good to do whatever on a whim. We wake up whenever we wake up. We have breakfast. I usually have breakfast and coffee with my husband in the morning before he leaves for work. I'm in a new season of trying to figure out when my workouts are going to take place, because that's looking different due to some changes at the gym that we go to. So I know there's going to be some transitioning happening this homeschool year in many ways. So times, no, we do not follow times at all. Like, not at all. I can't. Like I said, some moms do, and I appreciate and respect that totally, but I can't in our homeschool. We just start when we start. Usually my oldest will start with his math, and that's what gets our whole day running. While he does math, I tend to my youngest, and then my middle child will do his language, or he will do a read aloud, not a read aloud, sorry. He will do some independent reading, and then we flip flop it out. So it is the same for all of my kids. We do not follow a time. So question 11, have you considered opening a channel or an account to inspire moms to work out? I love this question because it is my heart, you guys, I have a heart for working out. I need it. I need it. I cannot function in life. I cannot take life, the stress. I need that outlet. Working out is my outlet. So I've always been a runner. Here, the last 7 years of my life, I had been a member of a CrossFit gym. This is not meant to put guilt on anybody. This is just absolutely my heart, where as a mom, I need it. And I know some moms don't. Some moms, it's not their thing. Some moms hate running. It's like death. Some moms have different outlets and different avenues. For me, my outlet, my thing is getting to sweat, is working out. So with that gym closing, things are going to look different, but I haven't considered that, but that's a good question. Something to think about for the future. I might add some of that into my Instagram account, Simply Living It. I might add in some of that, little bits here and there, just for overall well-being as a mama, and the things that we need to be healthy and whole and complete, and be the mamas that God has called us to be. So question 12, how am I planning to continue meeting with prayer group and homeschool? So I'm not sure if you're meaning homeschooling and then making time for prayer group, or exactly what that will look like. But we did leave our homeschool co-op that we were a part of for the last, I think, 5 years. This will be our first semester not doing homeschool co-op. So I'm going to do prayer group on Tuesdays. So prayer group is usually in the mornings. It's going to look a little bit different, but we can homeschool when we get back. It's really, truly, we typically do 4 days homeschooling in our home anyway. So maybe Tuesdays will be our off day and we will homeschool on Friday. I don't know. But prayer group is going to come first and foremost in our homeschool. And I'm not going to be, a slave to the concept of we have to do homeschool on Tuesdays. And if we don't, then, we've missed the ball. I don't want to go in with that mentality at all, because prayer is the most important thing to me. That time is so treasured. And so I don't know, we'll just kind of figure it out as we go along in this new season. I'm going to answer a few more questions, and then I'm going to have to do a part 2 for you guys, because these are all amazing and I want to answer every single one of your questions. So let's see here. What does my cleaning schedule look like? Do I have one? I do not. Does that surprise any of you? I do not have a cleaning schedule. My boys have 3 things that they do every single morning when they wake up that they have to accomplish before we get our day started, before they have breakfast. So they accomplish their 3 tasks. Usually I'm doing the dishes and, vacuuming or sweeping or laundry. I don't have a schedule with it. I just do whatever I can do when time allows. Typically before we start school, I like to get a load of laundry going. I don't like to start school or start our homeschool day with clutter. I can't do that. So typically we clean stuff up. I make sure there's no dishes. I would love to say that I am amazing and have a perfect schedule and my house is clean and it's wonderful all the time. And no, that's not reality. That would be a lie. I'm just like all of you mamas, trying to figure it all out, trying to figure out how to homeschool and be a mom and do all of these things and do them all well. I want to do them all well, not just halfway. So I'm open for ideas and wisdom on that too, because I'm just like all of you mamas, and you only have so much, you only have so much. So I'm just trying to figure it all out as we go, but I do not have a cleaning schedule. We just do whatever. Actually, it's funny that you ask, or that I'm doing this right now, because I just got done scrubbing our shower and it has not been scrubbed for I don't know how long. So I was in my mind thinking, oh, it's going to be a good day. I scrubbed the shower. It is going to be a good day. So anyway, it just happens when it happens, mamas. That's just kind of how things go. What are my plans for early workouts as we enter a new school year? I have no idea. Right now, I have a spin bike. I used to work out at 6 a.m., either way, 5 a.m., 6 a.m. That was my morning routine, and that got my day jump started and going, where we would just then flow right into life and homeschool and all of the things. But things are going to look different. So now that I have a spin bike, we have a relatively small home, and I don't want to wake my children up at 5 or 6. So I'm considering taking my spin bike outside on the back patio and working out on the back patio so that I can still get it done early morning, but that it's not going to wake my kids up, because I do not want to wake them up that early. It's not necessary, I don't feel. So anyway, I'm not sure yet, but I will keep you all posted on that. Biggest fear. My biggest fear, I don't even know what my biggest fear is. I've got a lot of them, a lot of really hard ones, like, your typical mom fears. Like, I think those are really the only fears that I have. Protecting my marriage, my children, our home, our legacy. Like, those are what my fear is centered around. So I just continue to pray for our marriage, our home, my children, protection, their eyes, their hearts, their minds, their bodies. And I don't know if that's where you were going. I think you just wanted to know more about me, but that's a really deep answer to that question. So if you want to know like spiders or snakes, or I don't even know, that was probably more what you meant, but that was just a real answer. So there you go. If I could live anywhere in the world, where? Oh, I don't even know. Mountains, beautiful water, away from people. I'm not a big city girl. If I have mountains and water and nature, I'm happy. What do my boys think of homeschool? My boys have voiced their opinions very much in this matter, and they do not want public school to be in their future at all. They have very much voiced their opinions. And I know some families, some homes are very much the opposite, where the idea or the concept of having to homeschool is like a nightmare. It's like the biggest nightmare. But for us, homeschooling, my boys are like, no, I do not want that life. I do not want it. And it's not out of fear or anything that I've ever told them or instilled in them, because I was public schooled. Everybody in our family, my husband, that's all we know. All their cousins, everybody around us is public schooled, but they're just like, nope, we don't want any part of that. They love their freedom, their home. It's been a good thing for us. Now, if I'm going to be real, the first year, homeschooling my oldest, I was really feeling like I was destroying our relationship. When we pulled him out of kindergarten, there was a lot of resistance, a lot of adjustments, a lot of changes that I felt like a failure as a homeschool mom. I felt like I was ruining our relationship. And I know there's a question on here somewhere. I'm not sure if I'll get to it in this video, so stay around for part 2. But the transition, the relationship, realizing that there's so much more to this homeschool life. It is life, not the curriculum, not a routine. I'm going off on a tangent again. So my boys, they love homeschool. They wouldn't want it any other way. Mandy over at The Handmade Homeschooler asks, can you come make over my house? Yes, let's do it. I think you're clear on the other side of the United States, but girl, I'm there. Subject requirements. How do I meet subject requirements for health and gym? I don't have subject requirements for health or gym. In our home, my kids are always outside. They're always riding their bikes. They're always playing basketball. They're always playing trucks. That is health and gym in our home. And then as far as the health side of things, I'm not really sure. Every state is different. So in our home, in our state, there are not requirements like that at this age. Now, once we get into high school, I will keep track of credits and stuff like that. But at this point in time, we don't have any health requirements for health and gym. So I'm not sure that I would be the best one to answer that question for you. But for me, the playing that they're doing outside, any sports that they're in, that's gym. That's their gym time. Health, if they're helping me, plan and prep lunch, and we're talking about the food groups, we're talking about apples being fruits, like going over your body, over your systems. When we're doing our human body unit study from Gather Round, that's health. So I don't know if that's a lot of help to you. I don't know if I'm the best one to answer that question, just because I don't have experience with those requirements, but I hope that maybe kind of helps a little bit. Let's see. Okay, so this question kind of goes into what I was talking about just a minute ago as far as feeling like I'm ruining relationships. So she's got a reluctant 7th grade boy that's reluctant to complete his work. She feels like the worst mom ever for requiring him to do his work, and he did what he could to make grade A's through the public school system, and now at home she feels like she's really ruining their relationship. And that actually, oddly enough, is what I just kind of went into. And how would I encourage her in this, or any tips that I would have? And I would just have to say, first of all, there are things maybe that motivate or encourage your son, things that are rewarding to him. I don't know what electronics look like in your home. I don't know if you have an electronic, like a screen time or any of that type of thing. But first would be the relationship. The relationship you have with your son comes before any schoolwork. Absolutely first and foremost. So maybe take a break from the books and dive into his heart as a 7th grade boy and what he's needing. I'm just putting myself in your shoes because I have a 7th grade son, and I'm going back to that first year homeschooling where I felt like our relationships were just tanking. I felt like my relationship with my kindergartner, people in kindergarten, like it was just getting thrown into a blender and destroyed because of homeschooling, because what I was doing wasn't working, because I was so worried about a schedule and getting a stinking worksheet done, and him memorizing flashcards, and none of that matters. Like, none of that matters. If my relationship with my son is nothing, I've totally failed. So for me, I would take a break from the curriculum. I'm just sharing my heart because you asked. I would take a break from the curriculum. I would look at what it is that you're doing. I would look at the requirements, what you're asking of him, find out what's necessary, find what you can let go, find what he's interested in and what he's excited about learning. Maybe switch up the time of day that you school. Maybe switch up the environment that he's learning in. A reward system of some sort where he's getting, praising the little things instead of bringing and drawing attention to the things that they're doing wrong or the things that they're missing or that they're not doing enough or they're not doing it well enough. Let that stuff go and praise him for the little victories. Look at the workload, stuff like that. I'm really just speaking from my heart on this and would absolutely, first and foremost, is the relationship. And if he is struggling in relationship with you, if he's struggling trying to figure out where you're at as his mom and his teacher, I would work on that first. And then the academics come second. Find what he's interested in. Let him have an input and a say. If curriculum is a problem, find something that works. Maybe look at stuff with him and say, hey, what do you think about this? Is this something you would be interested in? And then limiting, if he's got potential and he's not motivated or encouraged, limit the things around him that are distracting him from being motivated to do it, and then breathing life into him in the areas that encourage and inspire him as an individual. So that's the answer to my super hard question. I haven't, other than kindergarten, I haven't faced that yet. So that is an absolute hard thing to deal with. But I really think speaking from my heart, relationship is first. The relationship you have with your son is everything. It's everything and so much more than workload and curriculum and books. So have I used Sunlight curriculum? No, I have not used Sunlight curriculum. Next question, how to grasp or help your child grasp a concept that they are struggling with. So I went over this in a video in the past where my son was struggling with fractions, reducing fractions as a whole. He was really struggling with adding and subtracting and all of that. And we used teaching textbooks for math, and it was going really quick through the fractions phase, which also it does the same with multiplication facts. So what I had to do, this is speaking from my experience as a homeschool mom, in that moment, we paused. We paused teaching textbooks. We paused the multiplication part of teaching textbooks, the part of math, and we moved into a different method, which was the times tables. So if my son's not getting multiplication facts memorized, as the teaching textbooks program is going to progress, my son's going to get lost. So we paused what we were doing there and found alternate ways to introduce that concept and to teach that concept. So I would say if it's something, you didn't mention teaching textbooks or anything like that, just a concept in general. So I would pause the curriculum that you're using, stop it there, find different videos on YouTube that might be helpful, find things on, there's all kinds of educational videos out there. There are other ways, other forms, there's Pinterest, there's so many resources at our fingertips to help introduce these concepts that our kids might be struggling with. So I would say stop with the curriculum. Don't move forward any further until they grasp that concept. So grab alternate resources, alternate methods, all of those things until eventually something will click. It will click. So that would be my advice in that aspect. So the last question, just in light of keeping this video somewhat short and not stealing all of your precious time, is actually a question that I'm going to make a whole video on. I want to designate a video specifically for these questions because it's a group of questions that I think so many moms are wondering right now that I would love to just devote a whole video to this specifically for new homeschoolers. The questions are: what age do you start homeschooling? How to start, the state requirements, how to structure your child to go from your home, being your home time, to all of a sudden now we're homeschooling. So we're in this home, we're going about life. Okay, now it's time for school. How to structure that, which is a very good question with a very simple answer. How do I choose homeschool curriculum? that I want to be a whole video devoted to itself. So if you are the sweet mama who asked me that lump sum of questions, I'm going to do a video just for you and for many other homeschool moms out there right now. But I just think it's important to address that in a separate video, because really there's so much stress and anxiety and worry over these things, when truly, and I can say this now because I'm deeper in it, but I remember being there. I remember that boat and feeling like my boat was drowning and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to do it. And you get questions from a million people who want answers. And I remember that. So sweet mama, I've got a video coming just for you. I do want to say too, there are a lot of homeschool related questions as far as curriculum and distance learning and all of these things. And I just want to address the fact that homeschooling is going to look different if you are doing this just for a year. If this is what you're doing for this year to get you by until next year when things look normal, whatever that will be, if this is a temporary thing for you, this is going to look so different. If you are in this for the long haul, obviously things change every year and we know that. I come into it saying I'm in it for the long haul. Now I say I'm in it for the long haul. When I first started, it was temporary. So why I'm saying this is because for those of you that have homeschool curriculum questions and questions with distance learning and all of these things, my answers are going to be from the perspective of a long haul homeschool mom. I don't plan on making any changes anytime soon to what we are doing. We are in this for the foreseeable future. I know God has a plan for our family, and I don't know what all of that is yet. But for right now, we are a homeschooling family, and I intend to do this clear through my boys graduating. I hope and pray that I'm able to graduate every single one of our boys from homeschooling. So that is a different mindset and a different angle than those of you who are just doing it for a year, which I have a lot of friends, a lot of just people, you here at YouTube have reached out looking for something to do for this year. So I understand the weight and the pressure of the hours and how do I log, this time for health and this time for gym, and how do I make sure they're getting everything they need? I understand that pressure, but I want to remind you that when everybody goes back to public school, everybody is in this same boat. It is going to be so different, and everybody is in this boat together. Whether you have had your kids home and you're distance learning, whether you've been homeschooling with your children as a first-time homeschool mom, maybe you have decided to tackle homeschooling and this is going to be what you do for a year. Maybe God has put in your heart that this is your future. This is what you're going to be doing. It's going to look different. Homeschooling looks different anyway across the board, but now you add in this mix of chaos of some of them are doing it, for a season, for a temporary thing. Some it's the long haul. Some are distance learning. Some are, it's going to look, it looked different before, but now it's like a wildfire that has gotten out of control, and it is going to be so different. The way you tackle homeschooling is going to look different, because some of you are coming in the mindset, like I said, where it's just temporary. And I feel that pressure for you. I feel that pressure to keep them on track, quote unquote, with what the public school system says that they need to be, or where they say your child should be at 2nd grade or 5th grade or whatever. Those of us who are here for the long haul for homeschooling, it looks so different. And that mentality of being on track, we know and understand and appreciate that our children will get there. They're not behind. It's part of the journey. It's part of the process. So for those of you who are stressing and sweating and not sure what to do, and your boat is sinking in curriculum and schedules and routines and all of these things for homeschooling, I want you to know my answers might not be the best fit for your family, for your homeschool, because maybe this is temporary for you. So you need something that's going to look different. Maybe this is the first opening to what God is calling your family to do, and that's homeschool. I don't know. I don't know your situation. I don't know your circumstances, but I know and want you to know that you are not alone, and there is a whole wide nation of moms who are lost right now, of families who are trying to figure it out and sort it out. And it is going to look different for everybody. So if and when your children return to public school, they are going to be in this mess among all of their friends. So all of that to say, take a deep breath, mama, breathe. Give it to God. He's gone before you. Tori mentioned this in one of her last videos, that it is a verse that's still just clung to me. God has gone before us. He's beside us. He's all around us. He's in this. He's covering us. So he's got you in this homeschool journey. This is not a surprise to him. He's got you in this, meaning he's with you and your children and this journey. So I could ramble on forever about all of this, you guys, but I want you to know it's going to look different for every single family, from curriculum to schedules to style to children to grades to ages to regulations by state. Like, none of it is the same. None of it is the same at all, period. So all that to say, breathe, just breathe. I'm going to end this new homeschool mom Q&A for now. And I'm going to come back with a part 2 for y'all. So if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Part 2 is going to be chocked full of the rest of these questions that you all keep sending my way. So if you want to get in on part 2, leave me a question down in the description box down below, and I would love to answer them for you in another video that will be up here soon. So thank you all so much for being here. Don't forget to check us out over on Instagram at Simply Living It. Say hello in the comment section down below if you are new, and I will see you all in our next video. Bye.